What is going on, 5'9" gamers? My name is Joe Wags, and today I'll be your host for your favorite podcast, the Dokkan Battle Podcast. Our podcast is presented to you by 5'9" Gaming, your source for all things gaming, anime, and entertainment related. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things 5'9". Today's episode is not number 90. The 7th anniversary is finally here. Very, very hyped. For once, global is in the forefront. We're going to have a lot of global stuff to talk about today. But I can't do this alone. I've got some amazing guests with me today. So first up, I would like to introduce the man of many gotchas, Gal Riot. How you doing?
What is up, guys? I'm looking forward to this one. I had to be on this podcast, of course, with the global anniversary, happening right now. I was going to say right around the corner. It's alive right now. We've done our summons, and oh boy, I'm ready to get into all the topics today.
Yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, especially related to summons. We're going to have some fun stories for y'all today. But next up, we have got the man who has discovered the One Piece, Minato. How are you doing today?
The One Piece is real.
It exists.
If you know, you know. But okay. But anyways, I'm here. I'm a JP pleb, I guess you could say. So I did some global stuff, right? But I'm a JP pleb, so I'm just gonna be kind of here, giving my little feedback as a JP player. But that's pretty much it. It's all about the global boys this week. So congrats,
For sure. And then last up, we've got the SBR King himself, the Masked Ningen. How are you today?
Yo, how's it going, everybody? Happy to be here. Definitely got some interesting stories when it comes to the summons, so I think I'm having a repeat of last year. Can't wait.
Oh, really? Yeah, let's go. I can't wait for all the Ningen content in the 3 week later showcase, right?
Yeah, let's go.
Fun
I finally
times.
have them.
Fun times here on Dokkan Battle without a true pity system, right?
Yeah,
Of course.
Oh boy. Dude,
Uh-huh.
no pity? Who needs pity, man? Come on.
I know, exactly.
Perfect.
All right, so before we hop in, just a quick little plug here for 5'9". We are going to be at TwitchCon Amsterdam next weekend. So if you guys are all interested, please check that out. Did anybody else want to say anything about TwitchCon Amsterdam next weekend? Pretty basic? Okay.
I think there is a planned meet and greet. I think Sunblade, Palmzor, and a couple of the other guys are going to be organizing something there. So if you are living in Europe, you're planning on going to TwitchCon, some of us will be there. So be sure to say hi, say hello, and yeah.
If you want to find out how big his forehead really is, go.
Definitely. You guys
And
can see for yourselves.
You can see the truth. Is it
Which one is
straight?
real?
Did Stray really at it?
Sunblade's been working hard on his power level, and he told us his forehead grows with his power level. So it's going to be pretty large by TwitchCon. He's
Ooh,
grinding.
It's increasing.
He's
Okay.
grinding, yeah.
I see.
All right, well, let's jump into our first topic. The global anniversary is here, and we're going to start off with some summons. We're going to talk about how our summons went. We did live stream a little bit. A few of us were featured on that over on 5'9". Some of us summoned on our own channels. But let's start with our boy, the Masked Ningen. Ningen, how were your summons on the anniversary banners?
well. So yeah, I'm not exaggerating when I said I'm basically having a repeat of last year. Although technically, so far, it's actually going worse this year, I guess.
Oh my god.
So last year, obviously most people know at this point, it took me like 4,000 stones to pull a copy of Blue Evolution Vegeta. But the flip side to that was I pulled Goku in the first 3+1 rotation that I did. And then I switched over to the Vegeta banner and got shafted into oblivion. But this time, it took me, because I wanted the Super Saiyan 4s first, so I summoned for them first. It took me 1,000 stones to pull the first copy of them. And now I am currently 2,000 stones into the Gods banner, and I do not have a copy of them yet. So it's going great.
That's what
I've
happens when you
rainbowed,
don't summon for the superior unit, man.
I've rainbowed every other unit on all of the banners except for LR Full Power Freezer. So yeah,
I think
it's going
Evolution
great.
Evolution Blue Vegeta's haunting you because he's on one of the banners, so he's like spreading that bad aura all around.
Yeah, exactly.
You know-
I've pulled extra copies of him now, so I pulled enough copies to rainbow him off of this banner, and have now pulled at least like 3 or 4 more, I think. So
You know the funny thing, Ningen? Right as you said that, Garesh's 55% video came up. I'm showing it on the screen for the gods.
Oh my
For the
god.
gods, yeah.
well,
It's like mocking you. It was like, ha. You know how? Literally right now. That's so funny.
yeah. Thanks. But yeah,
Thanks,
so
Boris.
hopefully we'll get the top grossing stones soon. Monday, hopefully. Who knows? I think JP got like 100 last time, so
Yeah.
that'll give me a chance to do another 3+1 rotation, and then who knows? I think I have enough tickets as well, so that one more 3+1 gives me enough for a ticket multi as well. So if we get those top grossing stones come in, that'll be another 5 multis in total.
Yeah, get that transforming Majin Vegeta. Let's go.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I've pulled copies of every single the side banner unit that other featured unit that I didn't need. So and then of
Want
course
more
the funny
Broly's?
thing is I did tweet actually though last night. The funny thing is I did I was going into the summon screen to decide, like, trying to decide whether I did want to buy more stones and summon again. And then I flicked over to the tickets tab. I was pretty sure I didn't have enough tickets for the God banner. And then, I scrolled down and I didn't actually realize. I thought I'd done all of my summons on the Super Saiyan 4's banner. But I actually still had 11 tickets. So I did a multi and got the anniversary God animation with like the 3-2, like the countdown thing. And got another copy of the Super Saiyan 4's. So
that could've
I
been
do
them.
have one dupe for them, but I still can't pull the gods, despite now being over 2,000 stones deep into their banner. So hopefully, I mean, last year it was the rainbow tickets that bailed me out because they eventually got me the Vegeta. So maybe they'll come in clutch this year as well. I guess we'll have to see.
I'll be running again. Kind of sounds like a skill issue. Wasn't really that hard for me. but-
I was just gonna say, but that's because I pulled the father son Gallic gun in like 250 stones. And how many did it take you? So
Oh,
You know the funny
shots
thing
fired.
is that in the last video I did for them, like it was like a compilation of different things. You could see one of the things of me like opening the shop tab and then cutting. It was like, here we go again, right?
ready to do it all over again.
That's
Yeah,
right. Well,
sir.
let's move on to Gale. Gale, you did some summons as well. I know you were on 5-9 with me. We did a
Yeah.
little bit live. So how were your summons overall?
Yeah, I did a majority of my summons live, right? I went until I got a copy of each on the 5-9 channel as well as my own personal Twitch channel, and the gods actually came in clutch. Because I did one rotation on the gods and one rotation on SJ4's first, and then I did a couple of more multis on the SJ4 banner. Went to tickets, managed to pull the gods there. The SJ4s took a lot more out of me. I think I had to go like to 1,200, 1,300 stones for them. And then I got them, and then of course I did the 300 stone multi. But I decided to go back in again on the SJ4 and gods via tickets. I bought one of each ticket pack, the last one, the 31.99 pack. I think that's what it is in dollars, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And the SJ4s, I got 2 copies, including one being from my first ever Whis Rewind. So that was great to see. I never got a Whis Rewind before that, so got 2 copies of the SJ4s there. And the gods as well, I got 1 copy of. So I've gotten basically 1 dupe in the gods and 2 dupes in the SJ4s.
Nice.
Which is really good. And
Yeah.
those last couple of tickets clutched up massively for me. It just it now allows me to use the rainbow tickets on either the part 2 LRs or probably get an extra copy of the gods or a chance at it.
Very nice. Yeah, that's not bad because you started off pretty slow, but then it really
Yeah.
heated up for you. So that's awesome. My summons, I did 2,500 stones and I did all of the tickets from Pilaf. I ended up with 1 copy of the gods. I got 2 SS4s. And then I also got 3 Namek Gokus, which my Namek Goku and Full Power Frieza were both 55%. So I wanted lots of dupes of those. So the 3 Namek Gokus were great. I got 2 Full Power Friezas. I got 1 of the Broly side banner unit, and I got 4 Sin Shenrons. So I'm 1 away from rainbowing that Tex Sin Shenron, and he's actually quite good. Just waiting on a leader skill so I can actually use him. So we gotta wait for that easy A so I can actually run the team and see how he's doing. So and then Minato. Go ahead.
That Namek Goku, bro. I cannot believe I managed to get 4 copies of him as well. That was ridiculous as well.
And
Yeah,
Namek
that's
Goku,
awesome.
dude.
I was
Come on.
wild. I was wild, bro. The thing is, it's just like it came. We were talking about it right before the summon happened, and then I got 2 copies in 1 multi, and I was like, "Thanks, game. I really."
I remember that.
Bro, both of them could have been SJ4 Goku, but nah, and Vegeta,
Yeah.
of course, not AGL SJ4 Goku, but like I was like, come on, man.
That was
Could've
probably
done
the funniest multi.
I was like, bro, we were literally just talking about it as well.
I mean, this is the first time he's returned. Congrats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
Now he's 8
considering all
out. Let's
things,
go.
yeah.
Now he's
that is
bad.
also true.
Woo, just kidding. He's not bad. I'm joking. Don't
Yeah.
attack me in the comments, guys.
Yeah, so honestly, my thought here is because like the worldwide celebration units on global take forever to come back because we're just
Yep.
getting them back now. So there's a part of me, I have at least one of each of the new LR. I kind of just want to stash my stuff now and go heavier on worldwide because these guys are gonna be back for Tanabata. And I've got so
Yep.
many red coins, I could just buy them out with red coins at that point. So
Yeah.
that could be a strategy for global players. You might just want to get one of each and then dip out. But it's it's totally up to you.
I will
Minatus-
say-
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
In my personal experience, them at 55% is more than enough, right?
Oh yeah, they're good.
They're more than enough, and it's especially considering, again, you could grab those dupes in like 5 months compared to
Mhm.
waiting a whole year for the worldwide units.
Yep.
I think it is kind of smart choice. Get at least one and kind of wait
Yep.
if you want to, but that's up to you, right? If you
Yeah.
have your favorite characters as Gogeta Super Saiyan 4, then go all in, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then
the one-
Minato, did you summon on the global account as well a little bit?
Yeah, I did just a little bit. I got both of the banner units, but I didn't get anyone else. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's really it. It's just a side global account. I had like around like what 500-ish stones. Nothing
Okay.
much, but
Yeah.
just
Okay.
did it right.
Yeah. And then Gail, were you about to say something?
No, I was just gonna say one more thing to note as well. I would probably not advise people coining the worldwide units just yet because they will be back for worldwide celebration as well if
Yep.
the last 2 years
Yep.
are anything to go by. So I would say hold off on using your coins on full power Frieza or Namegoku as well. Like you said, it's better to probably save your coins up for the Tanabata banner instead, actually, for these 7-year LRs.
Yeah.
Because Namegoku and Frieza are going to be back in like a month's time, literally in like 1.5 months' time. So you might as well just wait.
Gotcha. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for our summon topic. Now, before we move on to our next topic, we are going to pause for a quick word from our sponsor.
Support for the show is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer just for you. You can get 20% off and a free worldwide shipping discount with the code down below on your screen right now at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that equates to around 8 million balls. So basically, we received the Performance Package 4.0 in the mail, and we're gonna go through quickly what came in the package. So first things first, we did receive the Manscaped Weed Whacker. That's the first thing here, obviously. This is the electric nose and hair trimmer. Then they actually did provide us with some boxer briefs right here. Then we actually ended up getting the lawnmower trimmer over here. Then we ended up getting the crop preserver, which is a deodorizer, very useful. And then we got the crop reviver, which is a toner. So this package, very, very useful if you guys are interested in this. Even if you yourself are not going to use this, you can buy it as a gift for somebody. But yeah, just don't forget that in order to get this, you have to use the code. Well, you don't have to use the code down below, but it would give you a big discount if you use the code down below. 20% off and free shipping with the code. Depending on what podcast you guys are watching right now, it'll be different. But the code right here on your screen is what you use to get the 20% discount as well as the free shipping. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
All right, so now we're going to move on to our next topic, and we are going to talk about the actual 7-year units themselves on Global. For some of us have played with them. I know a lot of us are familiar with watching videos of JP, so I think we're going to have a lot of opinions on it. So, Gail, we'll start with you on this one. Have you used them yet, and what are your takes on these 7-year units?
Yeah, I've been using them here and there a little bit. Of course, right now I'm still, organizing my box because the one big issue with summoning a lot is like the box space and your box in general goes haywire. So I've been reorganizing it, working on some of the LRs, but I have tried using the SJ for Goku and Vegeta as well as the gods in some of the red zone stages that we have available on Global, right? Like Legic and Lute as well as Smog. I tried them on. I haven't tried them on Turles actually. And then I took them into the God event actually as well. unbelievable units. I can see where this massive power creep comes from in the palm of my hands now, and they're so freaking good. Honestly, they're so good. That turn 1 guard, I do notice what people have been referring to with their turn 3 weakness as well. It can become a little problematic, but so far it hasn't been a notable issue, but I can see it being an issue when we get the harder stages of red zone. Because that turn 3 where they lose that guard and they haven't stacked up just enough yet, that's when things can become a little bit dicey. But otherwise, they're so strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't want to interrupt. I held my phone up to the camera, so I thought I'd do another. I thought I'd do another 3+1 rotation.
Yep.
And on the free multi, I got the Goku Black Rift. So,
nice.
for the gods,
You got
there
the
we go.
gods.
So
There
yeah,
you
I
go.
have the gods now.
Awesome.
Podcast
Let's
luck.
go.
Good stuff,
Podcast
good
luck,
stuff.
baby. 5-9.
There you go.
Let's go.
There you go.
Yeah, Ningen was waiting for that. He bounced on that. He was like,
Enough of this.
When Minato told me it was a skill issue, so I decided as a long-term Soulsborne series player, I just had to get good. And,
I mean,
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look, I'm telling you, it's my luck. The gods love me. What could I say, right?
and I pre-farmed all of their medals. So I'm just gonna awaken them straight away.
Yeah.
Let's
Very
go.
nice.
All
Now
right,
I can do
Ningen.
the video
So,
tomorrow.
yeah.
Congrats.
All
So
right.
Ningen, do you want to tell us about? Did you use the Super Saiyan 4s yet?
Yeah, so I used the Super Saiyan 4s. Obviously, I did say previously, like, I summoned for them first because I do agree with a lot of points of the gods being better, mainly down to their leader skill. I think Beyond Super Saiyan is probably bigger than Fused Fire and GT Heroes put together. So obviously their leader skill is incredibly good. But when it comes to the forms, even though I don't like GT, and I talked about that a lot, there's Super Saiyan 4, Super 17, and the rest of GT I don't like. So Super Saiyan 4 I actually like more than Super Saiyan God, like as a form. Plus, for me, my 2 favorite animations in the game are their 18 key super with the golden dragon fist thing at the end, and then Gogeta's active skill. So yeah, I just love that unit. Plus, I've always liked using the fusion teams. So yeah, obviously that team gets a lot more powerful towards the end of the anniversary. That's the interesting thing about their team right now, is a lot of the units that you want to run with the Super Saiyan 4s, like the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he doesn't have his Easy A yet, so he's not as good as he will be in like a couple of weeks' time. Whereas obviously the Gods team, they do get some extra buffs as well, but their category is so big that you can still run like a really top tier team for them right now. I mean, obviously, the Super Saiyan 4s, it means you're running a couple of units that are maybe not as good as they will be in a couple of weeks' time, but the Super Saiyan 4s are so good. And the fact, to be fair, I used LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku on their team, and, he's getting the 200% leader skill. So even pre-Easy A, he's not, terrible.
He puts up fat numbers, dude.
Yeah, like
you
probably wouldn't use him against like Red Zone Broly without, easying him, but we don't have that stage yet, so he can do okay currently. So yeah, their team's fun. I love using random units. I know people talked about it when he came out on JP. I made a video about it yesterday, but I love using Weirus on their team.
Weirus
is a super solid unit and creates all those physical orbs, gives them support. Like you hit their 24 key super every turn, so they're doing the guaranteed additional super. They're effective against all types. So I love it. So I went full additional with the dupe. I haven't given them any crit. They've got like 3 dodge and 14 additional or something. So they are super good.
I would say the thing with Weirus too is that he also supports the gods because he supports both Fusion and Rumble gods anyways, right?
Yep.
But they just want type orbs, so Weirus creating all those type orbs. It's really good for them to hit their 824 key, right? I've been pushing that Weirus agenda, bro, ever since then. He's usable in like Omega Shenron really good, right? Weirus is my goat, dude. But I just want to say that.
Yeah, he is super good.
Yeah, I just want to say as a side note, like anytime you get like new leader skills or new 200% leaders, it does bring up other units. So Weirus is one that I think I at least, and I think most of us have known how good he is. The problem is that the fusion team hasn't really been relevant. Now that fusions are relevant, everyone's seeing how amazing Weirus is. I actually started like a video series on my channel, like Weirus making units look good. Like he's going to make like the year 3 Gogeta look really good because you can get 24 key supers with him and he's physical. So that works really well. But I also think that that AGL time limit support Gotenks is going to be really good now. People are going to be using him a little bit more because you've got time limit units on the team that you're running. And then also the LR the LR Blue Goku, Blue Vegeta, the one that does all the additional normals, they link up really well with the gods. So people might be using them a little bit more as well. And they've got a 200% leader skill. So I think some of those units have been brought up a little bit as well. My take on the units, so I have them both. I've got the Super Saiyan 4s at 1 extra dupe, and then I've got 55% of the gods. They're essentially like they're almost the same unit, right? The big difference is the leader skill's different, and then when you transform, the gods have a little bit more dodge. I think they get dodge on Rainbow Key Orb, and then the Super Saiyan 4s get damage reduction a little bit on Rainbow Orb. So they're slightly different there, but otherwise they're very similar units. And obviously you got like the dodge counter with Gogeta and things like that, but they're absolutely insane. The turn 1 guard is really good. One of the more powerful mechanics is anytime you get guaranteed additional supers. It's part of the reason LR Broly's so powerful. It's why Videl was so powerful when she came out. So just the fact that you only need 20 key, and they pair that with like the extra key per orb mechanic, so it's really easy to hit that 20 key. Plus, if Weirus is hanging around, you're getting it every turn. You're getting 24 keys all the time. It's like candy. Not to mention you can float the GT Vegeta, the GT Goku. They're also orb changing. So the team is just so built to make them look good. Get 24 key supers all the time. They can wipe enemy turns, which is really good in red zone. Of course, what I hear is when the enemy in front of you is attacking with a super, you're always going to negate the normal attack and you never negate the super. I hear that's just the bad RNG of it all. I think the programmers did that on purpose.
I want to say that's happened to me so many times where the first attack is the normal and then the second one is super. And you're like, okay, that's cool.
That's just what I wanted.
It's really fun. Like when you're against AoE Broly, you're like, oh, well, thanks.
Yeah. Something I really like about them that might go under the radar. I love leader skills that are I like leader units that have flexible team building, and the two ways that they do that. Sometimes if the leader is a support, so like STR Cooler was my big example for that. But with units like this, these are units that have a very easy active skill transformation. They can, and it doesn't take crazy long. 4 turns isn't that long. So you can transform one. You can actually link them together with the other leader as a rotation. And then it opens up your team building to do a completely separate rotation and still have floating support. So you could link Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta with physical Gogeta, and they're going to share all 7 links. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And you can get away with it because the untransformed one is still going to be stacking attack and defense. So they're both going to be good. It's kind of fun. So I really, really like that about these units, that they both have that same mechanic. You can link them with themselves, have a lot of fun with them that way. Minato, as a JP player who's experienced them a while, do you have anything else you want to add?
I just want to say, basically everyone has covered it. I do want to point out one thing that Gil brought up about turn 3, turn 4. People like get mad when you like transform with them on turn 3, turn 4, but one, they're good enough to transform like in just 3 stacks or so. Secondly, their untransformed stage defense once they lose the guard, I feel like is almost what?
Sorry,
You're summoning more? Are you kidding?
I had the ticket, Molly, and I gotta give it to me now. I gotta give it to me
Look
now,
at
Super
this
Vegito
dude.
Fusion. Right.
My
Wait, listen.
God.
Gotta give it to me now, Super Vegito Fusion. Pulled the gods as the 3rd unit, and the gods as the 6th unit.
Literally,
Oh
that's
my
just me. I'm
God.
telling you, the gods love me. I am the #1 Super Saiyan God Goku Vegeta supporter.
So literally, I just went
for
with the 150 stones and the tickets that I just
How
used since
many-
we started
wait,
recording the
Minato.
podcast. I've gone from having 0 copies of them to having 3. So
Minato, how
thanks.
many units are you the #1 supporter of this Tech Ultimate? Gohan, God Goku,
Yeah.
and
Tech
Vegeta.
Gohan,
in
Tech
Kaba.
God Goku.
In Kaba as well?
Yeah.
No. I'm the #1 hater about them, right? Tech God Goku, Tech Ultimate Gohan, and then the LR Gods. I'm their #1 supporters. They're my favorites in the game. But
I think the Gallic Gun duo, you like them too, right? You're a supporter of them.
but
Father son Gallic Gun.
they're good too. Yeah. I guess I am a big supporter of them. I don't know if I'm seeing the #1 supporter, but I love them as well. Guard stacking units, ooh. But continuing on, the turn 3 for them can get you cooked up in the harder stages red zone. Like you guys, you're fighting like Turles and you're fighting like Lord Slug Lude. Those are baby bosses.
and
You're
could
gonna-
you Could you imagine losing to Legic, especially 3 times?
I know,
Imagine.
Bro,
Imagine losing to
heard about
Legend.
that, bro.
A certain baby individual out there,
I know.
probably. Like if you're like a child at the game, I guess you're like baby right now. But yeah, I would say that sometimes you're forced to transfer, and don't be scared to transfer them and get cocky to get all those stacks. Again, they don't need it. If you have to transform them, you transform them. They're really good, so even transformed. I think they both have their strengths and weaknesses, and just using them after 7 months, it's been like 5-6 months, right? It's clear that they're like a step above the rest of the game. I'm sure you guys are experiencing now in global, but I'm sure many of you don't even have them in level 10 and everything like that. For my experience, even with this Rainbow Gods, 55%, one dude Gogeta 4, they're insane.
Yeah.
I love the units a lot. And their animations are so good too, right? Anniversary
Yeah.
worthy, 100%.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I would say one thing though. I definitely feel like for us, of course, because of all the units we've gotten recently, there is definitely a power creep scene on global for sure with these 2 new units. But I feel like it's also a little bit less because of Goku Gohan and stuff like that. I think the recent releases have sort of not made that gap as much as it was when you guys got it on JP. I think that's one thing to also notice. Like people may look at it like, oh, these guys aren't that amazing, but no. But at the time when they did drop, that gap was huge.
The funny thing? I saw a comment recently, one of the 5-9 shorts. They're saying like, "Oh, the Ginyu Force team is still the best team in the game."
Yeah,
after
I saw
these units
that.
came out, I'm like, no,
No. Like just using the gods using the Super Saiyan 4s at 55% yesterday before I pulled the dupe. Like even though obviously they've been out for ages, we've seen all of your guys' videos and stuff, but actually getting to use them yourself, like I used to do, just because you want to go into like an easier event, right? So when I do my 55% showcases, I used to jump into the GT Goku event. With them, I just went straight into the Vegeta event. I mean, obviously we know that's not hard anymore, but it was like easy, no items. They just destroyed the whole thing. Like getting to use them yourself at 55% and seeing them, because obviously they're physical, so they get that free level 5 additional. Seeing them get like the triple super attack turn and stuff, like it's just so good at 55% as well. Not even like link leveled. It's crazy how good they are. So
I would agree. And by the way, go full additional with them, 20 additional for both, right?
Yes.
Yep.
That you have to do that 100%. And
then you could dodge. Yeah, you don't need crit at all. You don't need crit at all.
They have that active skill crit turn guaranteed.
Yep.
Yeah, they just make the game seem so much easier. So like I was showcasing them on the Legendary Vegeta event, and they make the Legendary Vegeta event feel like the original Legendary Goku event. Like, and I pretty much was one-shotting every phase almost until Evolution Blue Vegeta. Like they are so powerful, and you just feel that power in them. So you almost need Red Zone to really see their full potential, or these really difficult events. So that's when you know a unit is strong. So speaking of, go ahead.
I guess one last thing, you guys, like they're gonna overpower everything. That's how it was in JP. They just like made the game way too easy, and then like the next phases of Red Zone come out, and then you guys will see that they're like some of the only units that can actually compete in there.
Yeah,
I guess it'll be different in global because again, like Gail said, you guys have the 200% leader skills already. Some of them, but you'll see that they handle, I think, the events way easier than probably most other teams. Still, they're just so overpowering, right? That's how it is.
Yeah, they just have too much in their kits. They do a lot.
Yeah.
So let's jump into the banner units. So we've got a strength Broly, and then we've got a tech Sin Shenron. So Ningen, we'll start with you. What are your takes on the side banner units, if you've used them, or any opinions you have on them right now?
So I've used the Sin Shenron. In my quest to summon for the gods, I did actually Rainbow Broly, but I haven't tried him out yet, so that's probably the next thing I'm going to do after the podcast. But Sin Shenron is in an interesting position, because somebody did mention it earlier, is obviously he's only really on 2 teams if you want to include GT bosses, but like none of the teams that he's on have a leader with a leader skill higher than 150%. And then obviously because he's a brand new unit that I've just pulled and haven't link leveled, he doesn't have big bad bosses at 10, so obviously it's not active a lot of the time. So even in those circumstances, he doesn't look that impressive, but I think his numbers are enough that you can see once he actually is like, level 10 under link level 10 under a 170 leader, obviously those numbers are going to be way higher and he's going to look a lot more impressive. So I think he's pretty decent. It's just a shame that, until like they bring out a proper Inhuman Deeds or like GT Bosses leader, you're not really going to run him that often, right? I mean, it's cool that Omega gets that lead increase, so Shadow Dragons becomes like a viable team, but it's kind of like the only team you can really use them on. So he's pretty cool. But I am interested by the Broly, because on paper he seems like he's really good. And then obviously I remember when he came out on JP, everyone just kind of went, And then I literally never really saw like anyone putting out videos. I don't think I've seen anyone use them in like movie bosses, Extreme Super Battle Road or anything like that. So I'm looking forward to trying him out myself, but I'm not expecting any miracles out of him.
I'm telling you, Ningen, I used them. It's just that I hate that 6 orb restriction he has to get the additional super. If that was like 4 orbs, I'm telling you, he'd be like 3 times better. It's that kills him. But he could. It's like that's really it. And then like the stable enemy guard. Whoo, whatever.
Yeah. Gail, do you want to give your take?
Yeah, I managed to pull both of them. I still have to Dokkan Awaken them as well, but just generally looking at them, yeah, Broly seems. I'm not the biggest fan of his kit, in all honesty. I know that he also has that whole deliver the final blow, which of course has also been applied to a very recent release on
the mechanics sucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there has been a recent release on JP that has had that as well. So we'll talk about that later in the podcast. But I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of this Broly card, in all honesty. I think they could have made this guy way better. Just small tweaks as well, like Minato said. Maybe change that 6 orbs to 4 orbs. Remove that final blow thing. Maybe if he's the one, if he like, for example, I don't know. He does like they could have easily lowered the HP amount he recovers to like 10% at the end of the turn, or 10% of damage dealt. I think he would have still been way better. But yeah, Sin Shenron right now is a much better unit. He's just lacking the teams, like Ningen said. So I'm very much looking forward to that inevitable, hopefully, 200% leader Omega Shenron or whatever they plan on dropping, because he needs it. He literally just needs it. Very much looking forward to using him, though, nonetheless, whenever that does come out. I really like the Sin Shenron.
Yeah, I just did a video on the Broly, and my take on it is I feel like Dokkan very heavily values healing, like they overvalue it, and so I think they undertune Broly because of that. He feels like a unit that released and then you're expecting an EZA in the same event. But like he feels like one of those free-to-play units that like you use them and you're like, oh, they're bad, but they're definitely getting an EZA during this celebration. That's kind of what he felt like to me. I think Broly, like Rainbow, could look a lot better. Like mine is only 55%, but dude, he was doing like 2.3 mil attack stats. Sure, if you get 6 orbs, he gets the guaranteed additional super. Now, if he's like 3.5, even maybe 4 mil Rainbow, then maybe that's looking a lot more impressive. But his defense, and he relies on the additional supers to have any type of decent defense, because he only has like a 1-turn stack on a super attack effect. So with all that, but defensively, he's just a dead duck in like slot 1. He wants orbs, but doesn't orb change himself. So you almost have to attach an orb changer to his hip to make him work. My big gripe with this Broly, and I could rant on this for a while, so I won't rant too much, but I think a Broly Chi-Line Lemo is being like one of the worst designed things, and like Dokkan contradicts itself all the time. And the big problem we have with joint forces units is that they limit all the categories, links, all that to like what every unit on the card has. Well, with Broly Chi-Line Lemo, they've got big bad bosses, and so according to Dokkan's logic, if they have a standalone Chi-Lai or standalone Lemo, they should have big bad bosses. So you take that card, you pull Broly out of the card, you get rid of Chi-Lai and Lemo, and they take away big bad bosses. So this standalone Broly does not have big bad bosses, and he leaves the movie bosses team. So I have always hated that about Broly's. He should have big bad bosses. The Broly Chi-Lai and Lemo thing just drives me crazy. So he would be a lot better with big bad bosses if he orb changed him. If he just had big bad bosses and orb changed himself, I think he's a go. Like he's a lot better at that point. But yeah, he just doesn't feel that great to me. Sin I have not showcased yet because I don't want to showcase him on a 150 team. I'm gonna wait for the EZA and then I'm gonna do the showcase. But I remember from watching JP that I was a lot more impressed with Sin, and I think as his team becomes more legitimate, especially if they get a 200% lead, I think Sin's going to look really good actually. So kind of excited to check him out. Any other thoughts on the banner units before we move on? Okay, so next up, we've got the red zone. Global players think it is so easy, right? Like, what is JP
Easy.
talking about? Red zone is cake. I don't know what they are all talking about. So, let's start with Gail on this one. Tell us about your red zone experience.
Bro, I tweeted it out like right after I finished streaming. I tweeted it out saying red zone is easy. I just put that as my tweet, and so many people. I think it was Dokkan Air came back saying, "Oh, wait till red zone Broly." Then Maverick fell for it by saying, "Oh, you're right. Truth and all don't know what they're talking about." It was too funny the responses I was getting, but I was just like, I just wanted to put that tweet out just to bait people in, and I got a couple of baits in, which was very cool. But overall, I mean, it's been fun. I think the start has been good. Of course, it's very easy. It's pretty much, I would say, the difficulty of these stages that we have live right now is, I would say, just under the God event, right? I feel that way at least, right? And I think a lot of people should be able to clear this very easily with or without the 7-year LRs, I feel. But I do like the way they've built this event as a whole, just generally speaking as well. Them going from sort of easy stages to like harder, and then the hardest overall. That way, players have something to achieve, something to grind towards, something to work towards. So overall, I'm really liking the red zone so far. Not too difficult, but I think that's the way they've designed it, and I'm very excited to see how I'm going to fare when Broly and Co come around. Obviously, I think Baby is going to be the next big one for us on Global, right?
Yeah.
The big target, the big difficult one from the next set. So it's going to be an interesting challenge for sure.
Yeah, Ningen, how's Red Zone treating you? I think you didn't you do like a tech nuke against Legic or something like that?
So it's funny because I was recording my runs of it while I was on stream, and we did Legic, and I let the chat vote on like what team I was going to use with a poll, and so I was using a Movie Bosses team, and it was so easy. I think I beat it in like 6 minutes or something like that. So I was like, this runtime is way too short for a YouTube video. And then somebody in the chat was like, you should try nuking it with a tech team, because obviously he's the only boss. He's only got one health bar. So I did it. I actually did it twice because I used all 3 attempts. So I went in with the Super Saiyan Blue Goku leader, and then I was using one setup with the tech androids and one setup with the LR Goku and Gohan. And I brought another one of them as a friend, because obviously nobody's running that Goku, but also just to try and make sure you get him on turn 1. And then, just pop the Takoyaki items, pick up like 20 orbs, one-shot him, beat the stage. I think my best time for the stage is like 1 minute and 20 seconds or something. So, and then I did the same thing that Gail was saying. I posted a tweet. I posted the screenshot of it and used the SpongeBob like meme format where I switched between upper and lowercase and just put like, the red zone is really hard, guys. And loads of people like were commenting on it, but like taking it seriously, like Gail said, and being like, these stages are easy. Just you wait until Broly comes out and you try using this team. It's like, I know you can't. But it was proper funny. So,
the one thing I will say, sorry to cut you off there. The loot stage I forgot to mention. And I wanted to ask Minato this, if he has an idea by any chance. Does he have a higher chance to slots the first? Does he have a higher chance to super in the first slot consistently? Because in my run, I don't think he stopped supering in the first slot throughout the stage completely. And I know somebody else mentioned this to me even when I was streaming as well, that they were also getting supered consistently in the first slot. So I'm curious if he has like a higher chance to slot in the first. A higher chance to super in the first slot. That's a tongue twister and a half for no reason. But yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I saw a couple of people saying that, so I was like, maybe.
I haven't heard about that. Again, bosses tend to super a lot in the first slot sometimes, right? Sometimes they super in the last slot, right? It's just RNG, right? How super attacks work is unless there's like a count on super attack, it's random. It's a chance based on each attack, right? So you just probably got unlucky and the super attacks all procced on the attacks in the first slot, right? But yeah, that I haven't heard anything about it being in slot one specifically. I could look into that, right, with the numbers, guys. We could see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the answer is just a skill issue, Gail. You got to get better. So they stop
Well,
supering you in slot one. Come on.
Unlike other people who couldn't even clear Legic in their 3 attempts, I at least, even though I was getting super first slot, I cleared it nonetheless. All right, I don't want to hear this.
So I did videos on all 4 stages. They were pretty easy. I cleared all 4 stages my first attempt, and I literally just took a random 200% team. I just said, I'm going to cycle different 200% teams. I kind of looked at typings and picked teams that had more of those typings, but it was pretty easy. The only time I had a little snafu was on Lude. Lude did tag me for a 374k super, and I think it was slot 1 actually, so skill issue over here, right? But I think that otherwise it was just pretty smooth sailing. But the thing that global players have to remember, and this is kind of why we meme about it, but like we've got so many more options than JP. We've got all these other 200% leads that we can run.
Yep.
And then the other thing you guys have to remember, like Gail said it, these first 4 stages just in general aren't hard anyways. They're just a step below the God event. Once we get the really hard stages, people will start to notice more difficult runs. Team setups will be a little bit more important. But right now, just think of this as pretty free and easy. Just try out different teams. You could even do challenge runs and see, I don't know, can I beat Legic with a world tournament team? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should try. But you could do some fun challenge runs. You never know.
Well, yeah, you say that. Somebody in my chat made a joke about, obviously, because the fact that his name is Lude. So I did his stage with a Peppy Gals team. And
there you go.
So
nice.
So I saw the bonk on there, the dog.
Yeah. So yeah, could be fun for some challenge runs, right?
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the. Or someone else want to add on? Go ahead.
I guess I want to say, keep in mind with Lude, it's funny, he's the only boss that does this, but in his STR final phase, he actually stacks tack. So with each super attack he does, he hits harder after it. So if you guys kind of realize something like that, or why he hit a little hard after like the first or second super, that's why. And he lowers your defense as well, right? Which you'll see with bosses in the future. Some of them lower your defense. Then you go into the next fight, and with your defense low, like Andrew 13 does it. I think 17 does it, right? And speaking about the next bosses as well, I know someone brought up Baby. I want to say that Rodo is also a little annoying because he could lock you, and then he lowers your defense. So keep in mind with Rodo as well. Rodo is a pretty tough boss too in his own right? But that's all I want to say.
Okay. Sounds good. So next topic we have is the 300 stone multi, which is live. And so what we're going to talk about is, do we think it's worth it for the average player to summon on this? If we summon, feel free to share what your summon was like. For people unfamiliar, basically the way this works is you pay 300 stones. You get 77 units with 3 guaranteed LRs. There is also a free banner that you'll get with tickets. You need 50 tickets. You'll get a free summon with 77 units and 3 LRs. Don't ask us where the tickets are. You're not going to get them till part 3. So they're there. Just do the normal missions. You can't get it yet. It's going to be at the end. So Gail, let's start with you on this one. What is your take on the 300 stone multi? Is it worth it? And did you summon? And if you did, what did you get?
Well, I'll say this, compared to JP, technically it's a little bit more worth it because we obviously have Future Trunks and Gohan on the banner, which JP didn't have, right? And they're still a relatively decent, if not really decent, a really good unit, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think it is worth it for especially returning players or new players, in all honesty. Obviously, your first aim should be to try and at least get 1 copy of the Gods and SJ4s, no matter what player you are. Beyond that, I think it is worth it to at least give it a punt because you could get more than 3 LRs. I got 6 LRs on mine, which was crazy, but some of them were a little iffy, I'm not gonna lie, but we move. But 6 LRs is still nothing to scoff at. That's a full LR team, basically, you could run there, assuming you can put them under the same leader skill. But it's a good start for any player, returning or new, and just generally as well, you're gonna get at least like 6 SSRs in total, including the 3 LRs guaranteed, because I would assume you would pull like 1 SSR every 10 to 15 units basically. But I think it's worth it. But my first piece of advice would be to try and get at least 1 copy of the Gods and SJ4s before you do anything with that 300 stone banner, because that banner is going to be live until the end of the anniversary, right? So you'll be able to stock up massively, and so you might want to just wait, keep summoning on the 3+1 for now, and then at the end of the anniversary, put it in. summon on the 300 stone banner, see what you get.
Yeah, Vilify, go ahead.
Wow.
Yeah. So, Dokkan responsibly. Yeah, do not buy any yellow coin LRs until you are completely done with the free 300 stone summon, the 300 stone summon, and then the ticket summon. Yeah, that's always good advice. You never buy anything with coins until you are completely done. Just like the same advice I could say, don't go in and buy an Int Namek Goku if you're not done summoning on that banner, because then you could end up pulling them. You just wasted your coins. So yeah, be very mindful of how you use those coins. Ningen, do you want to jump in on the 300 stone multi?
I think Gale covered most of anything that I would have said. I agree with him completely. You should summon for the main units first. And then after that, I think, because obviously we normally warn people away from legendary summon banners who are like newer players or free to play or something like that. But obviously this one with the guaranteed LRs, if you have pulled the 2 main anniversary LRs and you have the 300 stones, I would say it's probably better to do this one than it is to summon on the part 2 LR banner. Because obviously at least you are going to get some guaranteed stuff. I do want to say shout out to the incredibly lucky individual who tagged me on Twitter who got LR Super 17 as all 3 of his guaranteed LRs.
I saw that. Yes.
What an absolute
funny.
legend for Super 17. So
I would have taken that. I don't have them yet. That would have been awesome.
yeah, I've seen a couple of screenshots of people getting the same LR as all 3. I saw one of Nappa and one of the Exchange Vegeta, I think. Oh no, it was the God Goku, maybe.
Oh, God Goku.
Yeah, because it was a Goku, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's crazy because obviously that can happen because the final 3 slots are separated into tiers, which is a really good idea because it means your final one, the 77th unit, is only going to be an LR from a certain point onwards, which is cool because then it stops people getting like 3 physical trunks or something.
Right.
But the ones below that, they're from the tier below or the potential of it still being one from the tier above. And obviously, like Gale said, he got extra LRs. You can get extra LRs from any tier during the multi. So I mean, technically, if you had the craziest luck in the world, I'm sure the probability for this is like 0.0 with like a million zeros or something. But you technically could pull 77 LRs. So
yeah, technically you could.
You technically could. But,
I mean,
but yeah, so I'd say that's worth doing more so than the part 2 banner because at least you're guaranteed to get something.
Oh yeah,
whereas
for sure.
300 stones on that part 2 banner gets you 6 multis with just 6 guaranteed SSRs. So yeah, it's definitely worth doing. But like Gale said, summon for the Super Saiyan 4s and the gods first. And again, like he said, the banner is up until the end of the celebration. So what I normally do every anniversary, I wait until we've gotten all the tickets. So we're in the last part. And then I'll do the ticket one and then do the stone one if I still have the stones by that point at the end of the anniversary. So I think that's the best way to go about it, unless you know you don't care about the part 2 banner. And then once you grab the gods and the Super Saiyan 4s, give it a try. Right?
Yeah.
Technically,
One thing I wanted to do, go ahead, Minato, first. You go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say technically you can rainbow a unit in like we can get 5 copies of the same unit, I guess, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could.
Like,
you could.
what if that dude got Super 17 on those 3 and then Super 17 twice before it? It's possible, but
it's not
that would be
impossible,
funny. And one last thing I want to mention, the banner units on feature there actually go up to the Ginyu Force banner units, right?
Yep.
So you could potentially get Rukuma Guldo, Brother and Jace, and all those recent banner units, right? And that's something that wasn't on JP, right? So
Yep.
keep that in mind.
Yep. Gal, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is a little bit off topic from the 300 stone because you brought up the part 2 banner, and it's just a question. I want to see what you guys think. We know that the banner format for legendary summons have changed recently, right? With them adding 3 featured LRs now. Do you think that's a possibility that we might get a 3rd featured LR? Because I know we have obviously Kaioken Goku and Saiyan Saga Vegeta together, but do you think they will add a 3rd one?
I was thinking about that myself, and I think they actually will change it. I know it's kind of sacrilege to change an anniversary banner, but I'm pretty sure the global producer letter said there is a new format for LRs, and I don't think that they would go back on that after they've already changed it. So I think it was actually announced in a producer letter. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was officially announced somewhere in game or whatever that the LR format is changing. And so I don't know. I think they are going to change it personally, which could be exciting.
I mean, to be fair, we do not know how they're going to handle these double top legendary summon banners, right? Because JP hasn't had one since the actual like update was made to those legendary summon, right? We haven't had a dual LR, so what
Yeah.
if they're like, okay, dual Lrs get 12 banners featured, right? 12 units featured, right? We don't know. I would say it's possible they change it, but I wouldn't hold my breath for it, right? We'll have to see. Yeah, we just kind of have to wait and see how they're gonna handle that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll jump back to the 300 stone multi because I actually did do the multi myself and I got trolled pretty hard on it. So when the anniversary started up, that was the first thing I did was I had 120 tickets for like just the normal ticket banner, and I got 2 LRs out of that, which was pretty good. One LR was the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta from the Buu Saga. And then I also got a Int 17 LR, the Universe 7 LR, and I didn't have him yet. But that physical Vegeta I got, that physical Angel Vegeta, was my last copy to Rainbow him. So I was actually pretty darn excited. Well, guess what happened when I did my 300 stone multi? Not one, but 2 of those Vegetas were in my final 3 that I had literally just rainbowed. And then my last one was a strength full power Frieza, which I needed the dupe, but not very exciting. So yeah, I got trolled pretty hard. And then I also got an AGL Vegeta as an extra one, which I already had rainbowed. Didn't need that. So yeah, I got trolled pretty hard on my 300 stone multi, but it is what it is. Still worth it though. I mean, I got the full power Frieza, I guess. So, all right. So let's jump ahead. We have got some Goku and Vegeta event missions for the legendary event. So for legendary GT Goku event and legendary Vegeta event, there are some new missions. So on the GT Goku, they have target Goku and artificial life forms. And then on the other one, it was Namek Saga and Bond of Master and Disciple. I'll just say this to start. On GT Goku, it's very easy to get both missions done with one team. I just brought an AGL Cell team that was all artificial life forms and target Goku. Got it done in one run. It was pretty easy peasy for me. So Ningen, I'll jump to you. Did you do these missions yet?
I haven't done all of them yet. I've done the Target Goku one. I think that was a video that I put up today, but I'm saving the other ones to do on a stream or something. I'm probably going to stream either after we've recorded this or tomorrow. So yeah, I did a Target Goku with the Cell team. Obviously brought the boy LR Super 17. Pretty straightforward. And yeah, like I say, I haven't done the other ones yet, so I'm going to be doing them next. But I think I've done like most of them with those categories, like just for fun anyway before. So it shouldn't be too difficult for me, at least.
Yeah. I'll say the Namek Saga one's really easy if you have the Ginyu team. You just bring the Ginyu team and you win. So
well, plus I have the Exchange Vegeta Goku LR rainbowed and Max Links as well, so they're obviously very, very good.
Oh yeah, for sure. Gail, did you tackle any of these yet?
Yeah, I decided to challenge myself with the Target Goku and artificial life forms because, like you said, you could run a double Cell team and have like a bunch of artificial life forms plus Target Goku units on the team, right? The bad part about my run was that I didn't have a AGL Cell on my side, so I had to use only a friend one, and I was running, I think, Andre 13 as my leader because that was my only option, realistically speaking, to be honest. So I ran that. Took me a couple of attempts, but got a lucky run in at the end and managed to nail it. Had to use some items, but it is what it is. I couldn't care less about no item.
You had to use items? Oh no, it doesn't count.
Kick me off the podcast already. That's
you're not a true Dokkan gamer here. We only care about no item runs. Come on,
Namek Saga was actually a little challenging because I completely forgot Captain Ginyu was actually a Planet Namek Saga leader, right? So I was just trying my hardest double Frieza run, and because my Frieza is 55% and my Namek Goku this was before summoning for the new LRs and stuff, so my Namek Goku was at 55% as well, and it was just a struggle town. And then I remembered Ginyu was actually he was a Planet Namek Saga leader, so I was like, well then, let me bring him in. I'm gonna bring in Rikum and Guldo, and we're gonna have some fun. And yeah, cleared it off easily. And Bond of Master and Disciple was a joke. It was a complete joke because I just took the 200% Goku Gohan lead and chucked in a bunch of Bond of Master and Disciple units under that category lead, and I was like, let's go and have some fun. And it was absolutely a piece of cake. That was probably the easiest one out of the four. Sorry, honestly.
Yeah, and EZA Physical Future Gohan's on that team also,
Yep.
and he's pretty darn good in there too.
Yep.
And you just bring a nice Trunks with,
My
and yeah.
goat, the best
Yeah.
you are. Let's be
Wait,
real.
is that now your favorite Minato? Is that the next guy you're gonna be tweeting about?
No.
Physical Future
He's
Gohan?
he's not one of my number ones, but he's high
Okay.
out there. Well, maybe he
Yeah.
is one of my number ones. I've been supporting him since he released. People didn't
Yeah.
know. Red Zone came out, they still didn't know. And then now he's a god. What can I say? Best Easy AT or Dokkan Best. Yep.
Yeah, he is really
Yep.
good. He is really,
Mhm.
really good, and he does fit on that leader skill. So it's he's really nice over there. All
I
right,
like him.
yeah. Anybody else want to say anything on the global side before we move on to JP? Anything that we missed on the anniversary that anyone wants to shout out?
One thing I want to point out is we did get that producer letter, by the way, which we were all.
Oh, yes, the new events,
excited.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. That new event is coming out. We don't know what it is, what it will do, what it will offer. I'm not gonna lie. I think I don't remember who I was talking about. I think it was Vilify actually. We were talking about it while we were doing a recording, and I initially thought it was going to be the keys that JP got, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be a global first entirely. So who knows what it's going to be? I'm expecting it to be basically a replacement of the Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. event. So we'll get a new character to farm maybe instead, but I don't know. It could be anything.
So-
It could be the Blue Zone for all we know.
So my theory
Obviously.
is that it could be related to Dragon Ball Superhero. And it could be like some LR from that movie, right? Like just like a teaser, like maybe some Ultimate
Man,
Piccolo or something.
That would
right?
be crazy.
It's something like that would be really interesting, but it may be something more so of again the Goku and Vegeta rivalry theme. There's speculations on LR and Vegeta Blue getting his EZA, right?
Yep.
Oh,
But it seems like that may be coming to JP in like the 12th or something, like next week with the Trunks and my EZA. Because we're getting the new quest mode stages as well. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see really, but I feel like it is a replacement, like Gail said, for the Goku and Vegeta Jr. who already got their awakening EZA and global, right?
yeah. So we're thinking they're gonna slot it into Part EX is probably the best spot for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, around there for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't thought about it too much other than I mean, I feel like I'm gonna lean towards they're gonna keep it Goku and Vegeta themed. But you never know. My troll was I said Global's gonna get the Link event, but you won't need keys and it'll just be a different stage. and then we get it for free while the JP players all complain they have to buy the keys. So
Complaining? I'm fine with it, man.
yeah.
I get my runs. I get stones with it. Would you guys want to get the stones with it? What could I say?
Yeah, exactly. So all right, so with that, let's move on to the JP side. So we do have the Vegito and Rose EZA. So Minato, we're gonna jump to you on this one. What is your take on Vegito and Rose? And don't say Vegito's like inanimate Goku. I don't want to hear it.
Well, they do have similarities. If
Okay.
you get unlucky with both of them, their defense could be poor. Vegito is very RNG based for sure. He can't look good, he can't look bad. It really depends on, especially if like your early turns with him are really important. If you get like a quad super early on, you're looking good. I actually took him into Omega today, and he didn't really do that great, obviously, right? At the end, I was able to get like the double Ajo Kid Gohan and then the Trunks and Vegeta active skill. So he was able to take double digit normals with 40% active skill buff, right? I keep saying but anyways, from there, I think that Vegeta is really good. I would say from using him, I like him as probably seconds around there for like TUR EZAs in my personal ranking, if we're gonna rank them like that. Rose, it really depends on if you get the killing buff or not. If you get the killing buff, he could look as good as Vegito, if not even better, right? Depending on your luck with Vegito and everything, right? And what he really needs is a bunch of new partners, like at least 2-3 new partners, like a full Goku Black Zamasu team. Things could look quite crazy for him. I feel like I did underrate him a little, and I'll give the win to Ningen there because he was telling me I was underrating them, and I do admit I was a little wrong with him. I really like how this Rose is, but it really, really hugely depends on if you get that final killing blow or not. If you don't, he can look a little weak, which is unfortunate. Vegito Blue, I think one issue for him as well is partners. He needs like another over and a flash Fuse Fighter partner because all these top tier
Mhm.
fused fighters units don't actually like really have fused fighter, which is kind of weird to say, but
Mm.
they're all like Goku and Vegeta
Yeah.
units that fuse, right? Super
Mhm.
Saiyan 4s don't have fused fighter, the LR gods don't have fused fighter, right? Some of these units like in Vegito, physical Gogeta don't fuse until turn 6, right? And then like it just is a little weird. And then they want him to be in slot 1, but he wants to attack and stack. They designed Vegeta a little odd, but they're both really powerful still. In terms of stats, they are really good.
Yeah.
You just have to have some things go your way for them to look really impressive, which I feel like they could have made them a little better, not needing those restrictions because of how anticipated these EZAs were, right?
Yeah.
That's basically all I have to say, though.
Yeah, they gave him that built-in key mechanic to help him with his key, but you got to get hit first, and he's not like the slot 1 defensive unit you want to put there,
Nope.
right? So
Yeah.
no.
This man starts off at like 130k defense. Dude.
Yeah.
You're now putting him slot 1. And
Yeah, you're getting wrecked there. So I'll just jump to the global side, global players here. Ningen, have you watched videos? Do you want to give your take on them? You said that you felt like they're underrated a little bit.
Yeah, I thought Rose was underrated. It was, I went off a bit last time when we were talking about AGL Goku Black, so it's basically the same kind of thing where I think there are certain things people see as part of a kit and they just immediately write off the unit, and obviously a lot of people were focusing on the kill mechanic thing, which is annoying, and I hate it when they do stuff like that because it is annoying to try and get. You have to change the way you play early on in the event sometimes, and like maybe mess up rotations if you want to try and get it as early as possible. So it is annoying when they put in those kind of things. But obviously, I saw some of the stats fairly early on, and when he is able to get that buff, Minato said after that, he's actually looking really, really good. And just like that previous Goku Black, it's a lot of the same sort of criticisms. Is the problem is he doesn't have a team that's really great at this moment. Like he doesn't have a 200% leader. So obviously at some point, he's going to look much, much better. Obviously, we're anticipating the Part 2 LR to be Zamasu related. But again, there's a yellow coin LR. He's not going to have a leader skill higher than 170, even if they do decide to go higher than 150. So yeah, in the future, obviously could be looking good. I think as long as you can get that kill buff, I feel like he's like a must-run support unit on all of his teams. If you can get him to take someone out early on and then just use him as a third slot floater, he'd be really good on any of the teams you can put him on. Yeah, he's pretty good. Obviously on global, like you said, these are the much anticipated EZA, so I have them both Rainbow Link level 10.
Yep.
And it's just a case of waiting for them to eventually come to global. So
one other thing I want to know about the Roses and the Age of Goku Black is that since they're a support unit, me included, and a lot of the people would think of them as mainly support with some offensive defensive capabilities. Obviously, support units you want to be more defensively based. However, how they are taking this Roses specifically is that they're like offensive and defensive units with an extra added support buff. They're thinking of the support as an extra rather than building the unit around the support, which I think would be better if they did it building around the support, getting defense, but they're still good the other way. But obviously people would prefer, more defense, especially because the thing with Rose is that if you want to get the floating, if you want to get the final kill, you need to have him like on rotation. But ideally, as a supporting unit who wants a super attack first, you would have him as a floater, which will make it a lot less often, right? Especially if we get like, Dokkan Fest Alarm Zamasu, Yellow Coin Alarm Zamasu, Tech Goku Black and Zamasu's EZA, right? Then there's a lot of units that may want to get hits, a lot of units that you'll put on rotation, and in the future, it could be a little rough for him is the only thing I can see happening, but regardless, they're still good. Very, very powerful.
Sure. Gail, do you want to add anything?
Nah, these guys talked everything I wanted to say. Talked about everything I wanted to say. The one thing I will say is, I definitely feel like I will agree with Minato because I think we were talking about this on the live stream when we were summoning. About STR Rose, I hadn't seen anything, and I was still under the impression he was kind of like 50-50, but I had seen tweets saying like he's actually a lot better than what we think. And I have to agree, like, he is actually a little bit better. I still will say that whole final blow thing is a massive, massive, massive mistake, and it's not a good mechanic at all. We've seen it on the Broly, of course, that we got on Global, and now we've seen it with this STR Rose. It's just so tricky to work around with because you never know what can happen in an event, especially, like, for example, in the event, say, like we talked about Rildo, right? And we'll talk about Shenron and stuff like that. These guys lock your units, and say you want to put Rose in the front slot so that he can get the kill or something like that. Sometimes it may not just work out like that, and it can leave you in a very, very, very tricky position, right?
Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do if like Shenron's almost dead, and then he's like one health bar left, and then he steals Rose, and then locks him like the third slot? Like, what do you do? You can't do anything. Like, sometimes you can't control it.
Yeah, you're just stuck at that point. I mean, you can say that about a lot of other units also getting affected by that, but I feel like that is such a mistake of a passive, in my opinion, because it's just like, that's just invalidated everything. At least with other units, you can kind of try and rescue it, right? Somewhat, it feels like. But when it comes to Rose, if you don't get that final blow, it will affect you massively. And I feel like that's a bit of an issue, in all honesty. But outside of that, I think, they are a lot better than what we initially thought they were going to be like, which is good. But it's a shame that they weren't what we were hoping they would be. And I think that's one problem that we also had, is we had too high of an expectation when it came to these two guys, right? And they went decent with them. Like Minato said, Vegito's a solid second position. Rose is up there in the top 10, at least, Easy AT Wars, right? But like, we were expecting more from them. We were expecting them to take the 1 and 2 spot, but yeah, it's all right. It happens, but yeah.
they know how anticipated people are for these. We saw how they did with physical Vegito Blue, right?
Yeah.
Even Age Arrows is really good, right? Obviously, we'd be anticipating something like that, but I feel like a lot of people do agree, especially with this new Vegeta and Trunks, that Future Gohan is probably still better than him, which it is a little unfortunate because Future Gohan's already like 8 months old, 7 months old at this point, right?
Or something like
I feel
that,
like it's time, to just get a new level of power creep for these EZA units now. But it is what it is. Maybe during Worldwide we'll see, I don't know, Trunks and Zamasu EZA, then they're like going to be new power. Who knows, right? I just feel like these guys could have tuned them up a little more.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Well, next topic we have is Minato's favorite mode, Chain Battle. Tell us how you're enjoying this Chain Battle, Minato.
Oh, God.
Actually, it's pretty easy. Usually, most of the time with Chain Battles now, I like get the top score first try, and then I just don't play for the rest of the week, and then I just stay top one. Like, I'm at like 132, 134k, million. And I've been in top 1% comfortably. It's just like, it's easy. Majin Vegeta's as Extreme Class, Trunks and Vegeta's from the Future Trunks Saga as Super Class. Like, these units have been in the game for literally years at this point. Many people have them rainbowed, at least with multiple dupes. So it's not hard necessarily to find a good friend that will have those units on there. And that's kind of how you take the cake with it, really. There's common units that people would have maxed out, very old units. So it's a good chain battle, actually, I feel.
Minato, for JP players that are doing this right now, do you want to share the best main attacker and connectors they should be using?
Funny enough, the Tech Gallic Gun Vegeta is probably the best attacker I've seen.
Okay.
People don't even run the Vegeta and Trunks as attacker or connector because they have way less categories.
Oh.
So what happens is they run the Tech Vegeta, the Gallic Gun one that EZA'd. I guess he maybe has better overall stats, but the Int Blue Vegeta that also EZA'd, the one that does the beatdown against Goku Black, right? They run him as the connector, right? I think you can go either way, but all the top scores have like 150 million, 160 million. They have that Tech Vegeta as their attacker, so that's what I would recommend. You don't necessarily you can use a Vegeta and Trunks LR, but actually don't necessarily want to because again, way less categories, right? Like the Blue Vegetas have we know Blue Vegetas have tons of categories, and then Vegeta Trunks only have 5, so that's a huge difference.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then they have legendary power, right? Which sacrifices another link that the units could have too.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, if they only could actually tell us how those numbers work in Chain Battle, it's still one of the more confusing modes where you can literally do the same setup twice and get 2 completely different scores. I don't know.
It's weird.
It is.
Chain Battle moment, man.
Yep. Anybody else want to shout out on Chain Battle before we move on?
When are we supposed to get it? Actually, are we supposed to even get one for anniversary? I completely forgot. I'm not gonna lie. That's my question.
Is there one?
I completely forgot.
I don't think there is. If there is, I can't
that's
remember who
the
it's
one, right?
against.
I guess I could check. Let me check real quick.
Yeah.
I
That's my only question. Realistically,
Dude,
is I'm
I-
wondering if we have it or not, because I feel like I remember vividly there being one, but I can't remember for the life of me.
Yeah.
was it like Shenron? Let me check.
Yeah,
here.
that's what I was thinking, and I feel like it was a Shenron or something. I know it was something to do with GT, but I'm not sure if I'm just misremembering or something.
Guess what, Gal? Global first event, Super Chain Battle
No,
for the
no,
first
no,
time
listen,
ever on
listen,
Global.
listen, I've had enough.
No, no.
I've had enough.
Oh no. Okay, there is a chain
Please
battle
no.
in part 3.
Okay.
It's against Grade 8 Vegeta. That's what it is.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
sure,
okay,
for the
okay.
Saiyan Saga stuff. Okay, that makes
Okay.
sense.
Gotcha.
All
All
right.
right. That's all I want to know.
Okay. Last topic on the agenda for JP, we've got the Super Strike King Vegeta EZA, and low key, I think he's actually a pretty decent little unit. Minato, with your direct experience, what can you tell us about King Vegeta?
I mean, he's pretty solid, right? I wouldn't say he's anything like special or anything like that, but I think the one thing that'll actually allow him to age way better than these other units is that, so his support, he has Pure Saiyans of Vegeta's family, attack and defense plus 25%. That is actually stackable. So every Vegeta that's in Pure Saiyans, obviously, right, will get 50% attack and defense from this guy. So at the very least, for like showcases, you're gonna be looking
Yeah.
good with him. He has Saiyan Pride as well, so he's actually like a pretty nice floating unit for like LR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. He has some stunning, right? Getting a full pure Saiyan Saiyan that he wants is very easy to do, obviously, right? I think he's pretty solid. Again, nothing special himself, but it's what he provides. He's definitely more of a floating support unit. So I wouldn't focus on his own numbers, but what he could do to the team. And again, like Vegeta's getting 50% attack and defense. That's huge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, for a Super Strike unit, he's one of the more intriguing options just for that support. I've still been pretty intrigued by the Int 16. Just like when he guards, he's actually pretty darn good. It's just a matter of if he's going to guard. But this King Vegeta does intrigue me a bit. Ningen, do you have any thoughts on the King Vegeta just as a global player?
Nothing that hasn't really been said already. I think he looks interesting. I like the fact that they're making these Super Strike cards a little bit more interesting, and it's good for him to be a support because there aren't really any other King Vegetas in the game. So he's not taking anyone else's place if you want to slot him into a team as like a support unit or something. So it's quite interesting. It's good to see that they are giving them some different spread of abilities and stuff like that. So I'm just looking forward to not only getting him, but also seeing what they do with the other ones as well. So
I guess if I want to be greedy, I wish he gave one key.
Yeah, just some key. Yeah, if he had some key.
That might be a little pushing it because I know, again, he's a free option. Anyone can get. They're so easy to grind now, right?
Yeah.
So I understand, but it wouldn't hurt to give one key.
Yeah. I think for the Super Strike units to be viable, they have to kind of be built as a utility support, just because if you try building them as a main rotation unit, their links are so wonky because of Super Strike and Bombardment as links.
Yeah.
It's just hard to get the best out of them unless you're running another Super Strike unit. And unless they have a good linking partner that is also a Super Strike unit, it's really hard to make them look good and get those links up.
I mean, that's why the King Code and Mecha Frieza together are super good because they're designed to work together. King Code could seal everyone. He has a medium chance to do that. Like Frieza debuffs, right? They're pretty solid units together.
Yeah, for sure. Gail, do you have any comments on King Vegeta or Super Strike?
No, like Minato said, if I were to be really, really greedy, that's one thing I would have wanted from him is just the extra key. Would have been kind of nice, maybe like 1 or 2 key, but it's whatever. I don't think it really devalues him in any shape or form. Overall, good design. I hope they continue to do this sort of like design where, a little bit out there, a little bit different from each other. That's one thing I really rate that they've been doing as well with these Super Strike characters is that each one has been different in their own right, and that's good. Obviously, some of them have been designed a little bit way too wonkily. As you have Trunks, for example, with his counter effect being, like you need 90 conditions to be able to execute it. But yeah.
God, it's so stupid. I remember translating him, and I was like, "Is this for real?
Is this real life?"
I couldn't believe it. Like it's HP requirement, full rotation, then it's a medium chance. Like, bro, come on, really?
And then as we've discussed before, the game doesn't even tell you whether it did actually go off and they're not super or it didn't go off. So you don't even know.
One of the most useless things ever. In the game, right?
Yeah, chance
one
to see
extra
super
thing
attacks.
about King Vegeta is he does actually give himself 4 ki, which is pretty nice for like a TUR, right? So
Yeah.
even though he doesn't provide ki to the rotation, you technically don't need as much ki for him to see. Basically auto supers if you have one of his killing active, which I believe he doesn't have prepared for battle, but he has royal lineage and shattering limit, right? So there's some ki you can get there for sure.
Do the super strikes all super at 9 ki, or is that just some of them that do that?
That's
I
just
think it's
some of them.
Okay.
Not
okay.
all of
I
them.
think it's some of them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because if this guy early supered, like 4 ki wouldn't mean anything.
Right,
Yeah.
that's true. I don't. I just throwing it out there. I just remember some of them having that early. I just didn't remember if it was all of them or not.
Yeah,
Oh.
the one thing I also want to add as well, just to wrap my point up, is I in addition of that Trunks thing, I know Vegeta also has the same thing where it's like, oh, to get that additional 10% attack and defense per pure Saiyans, as well as the high chance of stunning, he needs everybody to be a pure Saiyan. But the thing is, for a character like him, it works because you're going to be running him with pure Saiyans. You're not going to be running him on storied figures, for heaven's sake. Like, let's be real. I mean, and even then, if you run him on storied figures, let's say if we do get a Bardock that leads that, you're going to run him with other, like, Bardock units anyways, or Team Bardock units. So it works out anyways. So overall, that still works, unlike Trunks, which is like all over the place. I think something like this just works much more easily. And it's the same thing with even Android 16 with his guard chance as well. I think his is like full Android / Cell Saga attacking in the same turn. So it kind of works there as well a little bit. But even then, it was kind of like wonky initially until we got AGL cells released. So yeah, I think overall this is not bad at all.
I don't know, Gail. I'm going to run my storied figures team with my dynamic duo of King Vegito and Tapion linked together. I think they're going to work great. Tapion and King Vegeta. There you go.
Make sure to record it and put it on your channel when you throw them against Broly.
Yeah, they're going to take on Broly. They're going to take him on. It's going to be there. All right. Does anybody else have anything just in general before we wrap up the show for today?
No, I just want to say thank you all very much for that podcast luck. It's very much appreciated. I could go away from this a very happy man now.
Exactly. Your luck turned around real quick, like on a dime. Like if I had stones, I would have been summoning right now, but I'm kind of waiting for some more stones to come in. So, all right. Well, that is going to do it for our show today. This has been episode 90 of the Dokkan Battle Podcast. I would like to thank our amazing guests today, Minato, Gal Riot, and the Masked Ningen. Thanks to Vilify for helping us out behind the scenes. And a special thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring today's podcast. My name is Joe Wags. It has been an honor hosting for y'all today. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.